Welcome to the Digital PD Library. In this video, I'm going to show you everything that you're going to need to know as the director or if you're part of the leadership team to ensure that all of the educators in your center are going to go through the trainings, get their certificates, and use the resources that are here. And to make your role easier, I've given you tracking forms, I've given you his email swipe copy. I'm going to show you where all of that is right now. So, how to navigate on the platform. You will always log in with the link that was in your email, which is learn.cultivatingconfidence.ca. And when you log in, you'll see access to the products that you do have. And depending on what workshop you had that you've purchased for your team, it will be there. We're using loose part schemas, behaviors, OMI for an example. So with these, with the digital PD library, how this works is that you are going to use the email and the password that you created for your entire team. You are going to share that email and password with them. So if you've used an email or a password that you don't want to use, you can go into your member account and you can easily change out your password as well. Okay, I'm in a different kind of preview mode, but up here would just have like your initials. If you click on that, you can change your password there too, if you want it to be something different. The next thing to do is come here and get your director checklist. And so I've just created this to help you have a quick at a glance of everything that you're going to need to do within the different sections so that you make sure that everybody gets through the workshop within 45 days and get their certificates. So the first thing you want to do is you want to set an alert in your calendar for 45 days from the day that you purchased this team workshop, because that's the day that your access ends. So I just want to make sure that it's very clear in your calendar for when your last day is. You will get email reminders from me along the way so that you'll have lots of notice for when your time is going to be done. Okay. There's also going to be a team tracker that's going to be digital or printable depending on how you choose to use this workshop. So there's two different ways that I find people might want to use it, and that is either you sit down and everybody watches it, say like on Zoom, you can share your screen, or you can, if you have a projector and a Wi-Fi at your center and a screen, you could set it up so that everybody can watch it that way. You can do that. Or the other option is, which is what I love, is that when by sharing the password and email address, every team member can log in when it works for them. So within those 45 days, everybody can log in, watch the trainings, get their certificate when it aligns with their time and energy. And I really believe that's when professional development is the most effective. As we all know, we've got busy lives. Sometimes things take us away. These workshops are like 2, sometimes 2.5 hours. So being able to watch it maybe for a half hour, and then come back and finish it at another time, that's really important compared to not being able to do that. And then you wouldn't be able to take in as much, or you might miss out on some of the trainings. Okay, so like I said, the first thing you want to do is, well, you're watching this video, you want to schedule in your calendar for when the 45 days is up. And then you're going to go into the platform here, and you're going to want to make a copy of these swipe file emails. Just, you can have a Google account. You don't even need to have a Gmail account. You just need a Google account that you can use for free. And you want to make a copy of the team progress tracker. So you simply just click on it and it will ask you to make a copy. Okay, I already have done that, so I don't want to make a second copy, but all of the emails that you will need to onboard your team, if there's any updating the passwords that need to be done, and reminder to the whole team, all of that is in here for you. And then there's also the team progress tracker. in both printable and digital. So it's just a Google Sheet. So it's going to ask you to make a copy. And it's very simple to use, but it allows you to just track everybody, especially if you're choosing, if you and your team decide that everybody just kind of wants to choose a date to view it on their own. And to be able to keep track of all of that, you can just use this Google Sheet here to input the name, the workshop that they're using, because this is the same worksheet that you would use for all the different workshops in the PD library, depending on which one you've purchased. So you would just choose the one so you can keep track of what you're doing. If you double click it, the calendar will come up, so it's really easy. I've made it easy for you. So you can say, okay, so let's say Lisa Jones, and this is the workshop that you're doing. And then, so we have till, if you got it today, you'd have till about mid-April. So she is committed to doing it by March 23rd. And then you can just keep track of the date that she issued. She either emailed the electronic version of the certificate for you. So you can keep track of everybody who's gotten it. And then you could just fill in all the names and do all of that. There is also a paper copy. You could use this as well. You could put this out in your staff area or the office or whatever, and you can have people just kind of like sign up and the day that they're going to say they're going to have it done by, and then the certificate received, they could say that's the date they gave it to you, or you can use this for yourself. Okay, so on this page, I think there's like 10 slots. So obviously if you need more, just print a second page, because it's just a one-page document here. But just some very simple tools to help keep you on track to make sure that everybody gets through the workshops. Okay, so going back to our checklist here. So director onboarding, you've watched the video, you've scheduled it, you've made copies of these things. So once you've decided how everyone's going to access it, whether you do it as a team, that would be the most simplest way. But then remember, even if you do that, people can still access it within those 45 days after, okay? Because repeating it is important. So once you've decided how you're going to do that, use the team progress trackers, then you're going to move to team onboarding. So this is where these swipe files of email copy are going to be helpful for you. So the first thing you want to do is the onboarding welcome one. And you'll just copy and paste this into your email and send it out to your team. However, though, you want to make sure that there's always instructions at the top for each one. So you want to insert the email with the member account and the password that is needed to log into the member account to watch the workshop, okay? So you'll just switch out that information here. Other than that, it's all set up for you, okay? So it's kind of like an email written from me. If they have any questions, they can contact me as well. So I'm here to support you along the way, okay? So there's reminders about how long they get it for. The swipe copy tells them what workshop they have as well, okay? So, however, though, if along the way in those 45 days, something happens with the password, it gets messed up, or people forget it, or something happens, that stuff kind of happens. I've also created an email swipe copy for you to easily input the team member email, the new password after you've changed it. And it's very simple to do that. You would just go to learn.cultivatingconfidence.ca/login. You put in your email address, or you click on the forget password and follow the prompts, and you'll be able to change it. You can also contact me if you have any problems, but then you need to notify your team if you change the password. So you can just quickly insert the email that it is and the new password, and then obviously put your name at the end. And then you can just send this out to your whole team, okay? And then the last email is, we want to make sure that we are reminding your team members around the 10-day mark of the last 10 days before their team access is done. So this is just a reminder for those that haven't watched it yet, because sometimes stuff happens. Maybe they've forgotten, Or it's also a good reminder to let people know they can go back in and watch it or get any extra resources that they were looking for. Okay, so this is a good email to put out at the 10-day mark to your team. So that's the email swipe copy there. Okay, so then the other thing I suggest you do is about 1 week in, you just check in with your team and see how they're doing. So throughout this, when you first get your team, when you first purchase, you're going to get all this onboarding information. And then you're also going to get, you yourself are going to get automatic emails around, I think around day 7 or day 10 into it, just for me checking in with you, seeing how you're doing. And then I'm also going to check in with you at about the last 2 weeks of your access, just to remind you that your access is starting to go and to send out the last email to your team. So I'm going to be here reminding you to remind your team as well. Okay, so that everybody gets through everything. Okay, because once your 45 days access is done, you will lose access to it. Okay, so let's just see here. What else? Okay, so then the last section is just making sure that you're updating your team progress tracker as they complete it and they submit the certificates to you. So they get to submit. There's a form here that they'll just be asked to fill out their name, email, the center's name, and then write 1 to 2 paragraphs based on the video that they watch. And then they get a certificate automatically sent to their email. Okay. And then they can send that to you. So it's all electronic. Okay, so on this board here, there's, like I said, there's the introduction for you. There'll be a little video for them, for your team members. And then here's where the main workshop is that everybody can log in and watch. And then there's also the workbook too that they can download. And then I always like to include a few extra resources along the way too, for just some extra learning and because they're usually very inspired and wanting to do more. And so there's just some extra resources here to help support your team within that as well. Okay, so you'll have all the resources you need to track your team's progress, to get them scheduled, to know when their certificates come in. You have the emails so that you don't have to worry about what to write. I've done all that for you to help onboard them. If there's any password updates, reminder emails, and then I will be reminding you along the way as well. If you have any questions, tech issues, anything like that, please reach out to me, which you can do on the website on this learning platform here. On my particular screen, it doesn't show it, but there will be like a little blue chat bubble here. You can directly contact me through that and I get notified. That's one way you can reach out to me. You can reach out through email at veronica@cultivatingconfidence.ca as well. Okay, so those are the 2 best ways to get a hold of me. If you have any questions or tech issues or anything, I'm here to support you, and I want your team to use this training effectively. And as I said before, they have 45 days. So if you have team members that finish it within the first week, remind them to go back through it again or just watch certain parts of the video. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Just as the children learn through repetition, so do we. Okay, enjoy.